I'm Augustus. I am traveling in the United States to listen to Americans I meet and to tell them about my candidacy for President of the United States in 2028. I'm here in Frankfort, Kentucky. I'm standing at a state capitol built in the Beaux-Arts style, a masterpiece of Indiana limestone and Vermont granite, with its elegant dome that's currently under repair, and the spectacular floral clock that sits nearby, a symbol of the bluegrass state. Kentucky's state motto, United we stand, divided we fall, is a call to be the meeting point for progress, tradition, and justice. This building stands as a testament to a state that has long balanced industry with community, understanding that a republic only stands if its foundation is rooted in the needs of the many, not the desires of the few. Kentucky's strength isn't just in the thunderous finish at the Churchill Downs, it's the pioneering spirit of the Toyota craftsman in Georgetown and the resilience of the mountain communities that have been the backbone of the American South and Appalachia for generations. It's the community that understands that Southern hospitality isn't just a slogan, it's a way of life. This is the 37th capital of my 50 plus 1 capitals tour. My plan seems obvious and necessary to me, but for other presidential candidates, it could be considered unnecessary and maybe even a waste of time. The plan is to visit every capital in this country over the course of about 60 days, not to give motivational speeches, but to listen. I'm here to hear about the struggles of the workers in the manufacturing plants, the rising costs of childcare that make it harder for young families in the suburbs to get ahead, and the farmers from Paducah to Pikeville who are tired of playing a rigged game where the rules are written by and for the biggest players. It's time that we make the security of the families who are currently holding this whole country up on their tired shoulders the country's top priority. We're being led by people who seem to only care about the next 24 hours while you're focused on the next 24 years. They're focused on their bank accounts while you're focused on feeding your family. You don't need another lecture on Kentucky hospitality or the legacy of the pioneers when your current reality is a local school struggling to keep good teachers or a pharmacy bill that eats up half your paycheck. I'm here because for many of you, just staying level has become a full-time job with no end in sight. To lead in Kentucky, you have to be honest enough to say what everyone already feels. When the people who keep our roads moving, our shelves stocked, and our towns running can't even afford to put down roots in the very places they built, something is broken. It isn't about the system anymore. It's about the fact that hard work in the state used to buy you a future, and now it barely buys you a month of breathing room. I'm not here to talk about supply chains. I'm here because if a life in the bluegrass is becoming a luxury instead of a right for the people who live here, then we've lost our way. To lead the whole country, you have to know the whole country. And you can't know the country from a high-flying jet, a speeding motorcade, or a gilded office in D.C. You have to marvel at the Cumberland Falls, the Niagara of the South. Admire the views along the Pacific Coast Highway, cross the mighty Mississippi, and visit the beautiful Smoky Mountains. Having lived in 7 states and visited all 50 at least once before, I think I have a glimmer of understanding of who we, the people of the United States, are. But you can never stop learning. That's why I'm visiting each state again and will continue to do so both during my campaign and during my time in office. Now, you might be thinking, who is this guy? As I said, I'm Augustus. I was born in New York State 65 years ago. Like you, I've spent much of my life working. I've seen presidents come and go and industries rise and fall. And I've seen as the people who actually make this country run are treated as sheep or cattle, not human beings. We've stopped looking at the person behind the work, and it's time we started seeing the human being again. You may be asking yourself, is he qualified? Well, the Constitution says I am. You need to decide for yourself what qualified means to you. To me, for instance, being qualified means working as hard as I can to help the most people possible. Think about the people who meet in this capital or in Washington, D.C. How many of them are qualified in your eyes? How many of them are working to make your housing affordable or your prescription drugs manageable? It seems to me that many representatives have forgotten the primary requirement of their jobs, remembering who they represent. They shouldn't represent the lobbyists, they shouldn't represent their party, and they definitely should not represent the ultra-rich. Your representatives and the President of the United States should represent you, period. I stand for the people, not for corporations that treat employees like disposable parts, not for the rich and ultra-rich who treat the law as a suggestion, and not for the special interests who think their way is the only way. I believe in a land of freedom and opportunity, not a land where out-of-state interests squeeze the life out of the towns you've called home for generations. Why consider an unaffiliated, unconventional candidate like me? Maybe because you're exhausted. You're sick of having to choose between generic candidate A and generic candidate B, neither of whom has had to decide between a medical bill and a grocery run. While a vote for a candidate who isn't a member of one of the two major parties can be scary, isn't it scarier to have to choose between bad and worse? Choose to vote for someone who will actually work to make your lives better. Vote from compassion, not fear. I'm headed to Columbus, Ohio next. I have 13 capitals and many miles yet to go. If you see me in your state later this year, don't just take a picture, come over and say hello. Tell me what's keeping you up at night. Tell me what you want for your children. I'm Augustus, and I'm here to listen. I'll see you in the state where you live. Hello, we're just testing the microphone. Isn't just in the and I haven't seen the clock. Oh well. Unbelievable. You don't need another lecture. I'm going to do that again. Well, I'm going to do the whole thing again, but skitchel, 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 skitchel. That's what I do. I'm an ear itcher and itching my ear because how does that look? It's coming out of my head. Tell them about the debut devices fasta. You see the bubble.